ask black people, how would you feel if white people held an event every year on the coast, the South Coast, Gulf Coast, and we called it White Beach Weekend? And black people weren't allowed to attend this event.
It is so interesting to see certain individuals of the Caucasian persuasion get upset or in their feelings about black people having an event that doesn't center whiteness or white feelings or white comfort. But I mean, of course, after having everything made to center you, your comfort, your feelings, and your whiteness, it is expected, I suppose, that some white people, the ones who are still suckling the teat of white supremacy, would feel some type of way. What always surprises me though, what does surprise me though, is when they ask us, hey black people, how would you feel if the roles were reversed or if the shoe was on the other foot? As if we black people have not been excluded from everything for hundreds of years. And as if we haven't been telling them exactly how it's made us, our grandparents, and their parents feel. You see, the difference between that and this is that white people have never been and still have not been excluded from everything. White people very much so still are largely centered in our society, although some small yet very important changes are being made. The point continues to be missed by people like this, that black people wouldn't have to put on events, our own events and our own everything else, if we hadn't been excluded from everything in the first place. We wouldn't have to go and create our own place or event to center blackness if white people were the least bit capable of centering someone other than themselves or whiteness. And if we're being honest, sometimes white people can be exhausting for us. These interactions with some of y'all can drain us both mentally and physically. And sometimes we need a break, a safe space, free of white tears, free of microaggressions, and free of the centering of whiteness, which surrounds us 24/7, always, anyway. And for the record, Miss Joyce, or whatever your name is, white people did have a beach event every year that was just for white people. Black people were not permitted to go. Black people were strictly prohibited from enjoying and participating in this event. Maybe you heard of it. It was called Spring Break. Now, Miss Joyce, you go ahead and get together with your other little white friends and make this whole white people week at the beach or whatever it is you want to do. You go right ahead, enjoy yourself. Baby, we don't care. We don't care. We will be too busy at our event centering and celebrating blackness, black excellence, and black magic. And we will not stop no matter how uncomfortable or unfair you think it is, just because your entitlement tells you that you are allowed into our spaces or any spaces that exist. Not everything is for you, boo-boo, and it's okay.
This woman goes online and asks black people, how would you guys feel if white people had white-only events that you were not allowed to attend? And it's just like, apparently she missed the whole chapter on US history where segregation literally was whites only everything, right? Pools, schools, neighborhoods, beaches, even water fountains. Black people didn't wake up one day and say, oh, let's have our own spaces. Those spaces were created because black people were excluded from theirs. And honestly, safe spaces for black people today is not segregation, it's about survival. But let's watch the clips and we'll come back and talk about it.
Well, how would you feel if white people...
We weren't allowed to eat in the same places as y'all. We weren't allowed to swim in the same pool as y'all. We were not allowed to go to the same amusement parks as y'all. We couldn't even drink from the same fountain as y'all. Somebody mentioned it already, but there are still states, I live in one, that still have sundown towns. There was a time when y'all were gatekeeping everything. We were not allowed to do anything. The social infrastructure is centered around you and your comfort. And what makes you feel comfort and entitled is your ability to have access to everything and limit the access of others. So it is no surprise that you short circuit when we create events centered around us and we say that we're going to limit the access to you because you're used to being able to have access and being entitled to everything. And that's something for you to sit with.
So this is, I want to ask black people a question, if that's okay.
To make a longer story longer, basically what she's asking is how would black people feel if white people threw events where black people were not invited? Ma'am, y'all already have those events. Yeah, those imperial, nationalist, cross-burning ceremonies. There's no open invitation for those, but y'all might have one of us there to decorate y'all tree with strange fruit. And there's a whole holiday to celebrate y'all Grandmaster Uncle, Colonizer Columbus, my bad, Christopher Columbus. Now, I have a question. Why do y'all call y'all thieving fathers the founding fathers? If Trump and MAGA got on the Mayflowers and rode they ass back to Europe, how long do you think it'd take them to get there? The only dumb question is the one you don't ask.
You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny? Every time a white person that hates black people says black people, you'll notice they'll like pause and they'll drop it like a semitone. No, in the store, and there was this white person, right? And then there was like this black person. It's a little drop. You know, it's real subtle though. You barely even hear it for real. But yeah, so there was like this white people, and then there was like black people. Black people. I want to ask black people, how would they feel? It's like they clear their throat. It's a little basic. That was just a side point. Let me get like the real video out the way. Ooh, this is going to be quick, y'all. Strap it. Every other week, there's a white person complaining about a black event because if there was a white event of that same type, then it would evoke some wildly negative reaction. Little does that white person know is that the sphere in which that black space exists, the white space equivalent is just the sphere itself. I'm going to put y'all through a little exercise so you never fall into this line of thinking again. Now, take any black event. Now, your question is, why isn't there a white event? Now, take out the black, and that's the white event. Black entertainment television. Where's the white entertainment television? Take out the black. Entertainment television. That's the white entertainment television. Like, I feel like white people forget how pervasive their presence and existence in society really is. If I walk into a room with a bunch of white people, I'm gonna be like, dang, there's a good amount of white people in here. But if a white person walks into a room with a bunch of white people, they're gonna be like, dang, this is one normal ass room. Like, ain't nothing off about this room at all. Every single demographic is represented and accounted for. I wanna ask black people, how would they feel?
White people are so funny for the simple fact that they do the same shit that we do. And then when we do it, they will get so mad.
Every year on the coast.
Isn't that shit called 4th of July? Where white people colonize the entire continent, then fought other white people, the English, for their freedom? Isn't that 4th of July? Don't you guys do that shit?
How would you feel if white people held an event every year on the coast, the South Coast?
What do you think all the private beaches are for? Do you think those communities have normal levels of white people and people of color alike? What about the country clubs? With the pools, the ones that are, you know, in places where there maybe aren't always public pools, you know what? Why do we even have country clubs and private beaches? Anyway, the lower hanging fruit would have been what the daughters and sons of the Confederacy be doing all up and down all 50 states, or the Klan, because you know, still active. But I'm more curious as to why people who historically are excluded being included in their own space bothers you. I don't see you knocking down any doors, pulling up any chairs to tables, or flipping any tables to bring other people inside. So what is all this rigmarole? What's all this attitude? What's all this
Miss Ma'am said, how would you feel if we had a white beach weekend? How would you feel? Man, have it. Baby, she took that video down fast, baby. Have it. White beach weekend. I'm cool. It's fine. Honestly speaking, if I pulled up to the beach and I saw the sign that said white beach weekend, I would look to see if, are they wearing all white? Did I not get the memo? It's an all white weekend. And then I would see, and then I would just, reverse and get up out of that. I wouldn't even be mad. I would be on my way. Honestly speaking, I would be on the phone with my mother the whole time. From the minute I realized that to the minute I get up out of that, I'd be on the phone with my mama. But y'all can have y'all weekend. It'll be alright. Just don't get to hooting and hollering too loud. Don't do no destruction of property. Have a good time.
We don't care. They do hold events. It's called Monday through Sunday. And we still gonna have our events though. Hey!
So this woman wants to know how black people would feel if white people would hold an event that was solely for white people. And I gotta be honest, y'all already do. The only difference is that you guys don't advertise it to everybody. But there are definitely palm-colored only events. There may not be any signage or whatever. There may not be something that basically says bluntly that it is, but it definitely is a palm-colored only event. Also, anyone else find it funny why there's always this discourse of, oh, well, if a white person did this, yeah, can we not do this? But to answer this woman's question, we feel fine because it's clearly not the first time we've been excluded. We're very familiar with that, actually.
So I'd appreciate if the racism against white people stopped immediately. White people are people of color. Stop trying to marginalize their voices. Stop trying to silence white voices. White voices matter. White lives matter. White people are people of color, so stop excluding them from the phrase.
Here's the thing, right? Nobody's trying to get into racial spaces. If you don't want black people somewhere, that is fine. Right? Black people just want clarity so that, you know, we don't walk into hate by accident. But don't rewrite history like white only spaces would be new. They existed, they were violent, and people fought to end them. And black events today aren't exclusion, they're reclaiming joy in a world that tried to deny us humanity. Right, but credit goes to all original creators. This video is for commentary and educational purposes only. Don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, share, and subscribe. And as usual, I'll see you on my next one.